Okay, I'm gonna call the meeting to order. Amy, if you want to do roll call.
Commissioner Admin,
Here.
Commissioner Pratt is not here, Commissioner Myers is not here. Commissioner Webster,
Here.
Commissioner Woolham,
Here.
Chief Cowan,
Here.
our legal counsel Matt Paxton is just joining the meeting. And I'm board secretary Amy Oakley.
And I apologize. I actually have to leave the meeting right now. I'll come back as soon as I can.
Okay,
I don't,
so now we don't have.
We don't have a forum. I don't think there's any decisions though either. There's no decisions on this topic. Discussion.
Mr. Paxton, do we pause the meeting now without quorum? Or
You do not need to pause the meeting without a quorum. You cannot take any action without a quorum. But if there's discussion you want to have, this is an open public meeting. Or you're welcome to postpone or continue this until another time.
So I say we just move forward with the public stuff that we can do and just hold any decisions off to the side. Amy, did you get any public comments in?
Dave's got his hand up.
there were no written public comments submitted.
Perfect. Okay, and if there's a member of the public that would like to speak, and I see Mr. Marin, go ahead, you've got 3 minutes.
Oh,
You're on mute.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity to speak. It's been a while since I attended one of your meetings. The first thing that I would like to comment on is that the board and the North Shore Fire Department and the Shoreline Fire Chief did not adequately advertise for the pro and con statements on your levy lid lift bond measure. There was no email to the NFD list of people that are interested in what's happening in the fire department. The only thing you did is post it on the front page of your website, and then according to the chief, when he talked to King County Elections, he requested that the local newspaper put it in their paper. That's not an adequate solicitation. You're required by law to reach out to people that you know are maybe in opposition to a measure that you have before you. And I think I've made clear that I was in opposition to this levy lid lift. It's just very disappointing. Now you've deprived the public from the ability to hear both sides of the issue while they're voting. I would recommend that the board withdraw the levy lid lift measure until you can appropriately solicit for the voter pamphlet pro and con statements. Next, regarding the Regional Fire Authority, I know you're moving forward on that. I haven't seen any public outreach from that group yet, or any information to the public on what's happening. I would hope that the boards of Shoreline and North Shore are looking at all options, including joining an existing RFA, which would be a much more simpler and even more beneficial process potentially. Also, I'm hoping that the board, the RFA committee, I should say, looks at citizen participation in the governance of the new Regional Fire Authority. The city should have positions on that board, just like Eastside Fire and Rescue does. And the citizens should have an opportunity to be a strong position in governance. The current election structure that we have, unfortunately, really restricts the ability of citizens to run for and become a fire commissioner. They cannot compete with the fire union's resources. And as is demonstrated by the board, 4 of you are representing fire positions. Anyway, thanks for your time.
Thank you. Did anyone else want to make a public comment? Okay, seeing no hands, we're gonna move forward. We're gonna have to pause on the approval of the minutes.
On the agenda
I'm sorry, what did I say?
and minutes.
Oh, and the agenda. So board discussion. SAO audit exit conference. Chief, did you want to talk about that?
Just really briefly that, we met with the state auditor's office and their representatives. They did, an audit for 21 and 22. And we came out, clean. There was, one exit item that they noticed, but it was a good audit.
And we have the auditor's office online.
Oh, perfect. There you are. I'm sorry, I didn't recognize your name at first.
Yes, no worries, no worries. Yes, so I was here to present the results of that audit.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right, I'll go ahead and get us started, then I'll go ahead and share my screen here. All right. All right, is everybody able to see the presentation?
yes.
Yep.
Okay, great. All right, well, good evening. So I'm here to share the results of the district's most recent 21-22 financial and accountability audits. My name is Haji Adams. I'm the audit manager. And Lorraine Nita, she was the supervisor on the audit. So the presentation is going to be a summary of the audit results, and to supplement that presentation, you've been provided a packet of information as well. That includes draft copies of the audit reports that will be issued and also the exit conference agenda for today as well. So one of the most important things about audits is their role in increasing trust in your district. So an audit lets you, others such as the public, know if areas of operations are working properly, or if there's any improvements that can be made in the areas that we review and examine. And also having that independent audit increases the public's trust that the information that you present can be relied upon. It also gives you all assurance that the numbers presented in the financial statements are accurate and can be relied upon as well. And that the district's in compliance with state laws, rules, regulations, and your own policies and procedures as well. And then those results are made available and published online on our website. And then last but not least, audits are designed to help you improve operations. So if there are any recommendations, they're made in there to assist the district in continuing to improve its efficiency and effectiveness as well of its operations. So for the district, we conducted an accountability audit, and that covered the period of January 1, 2021 through December 31st, 2022. So the purpose of the accountability audit is to determine whether districts complied with state laws, rules, regulations, contracts, and agreements, and its own policies and procedures. And then we also look at whether, in general, the district has adequate internal controls as well to safeguard public funds. So you'll see under the heading results in brief, you'll see that our audit found that the district complied in all material respects with the applicable state laws, regulations, and its own policies, and provided adequate controls over safeguarding of public resources as well. And then for your reference, this is detailed on page 7 of your packet as well. And then in selecting those areas, the specific areas for further review, what we do is we conduct a number of planning procedures that incorporates reviewing the meeting minutes of the governing body for the period. Also, we'll do some analysis trends on financial data. So that includes reviewing payroll, vendor information, also conducting risk assessments as well with several key staff, board of commission members, and then also more procedures as well. And then what we do is we utilize a risk-based approach. So what we do is we select areas for further testing based off of those procedures that we planned and did. And then included on this slide, you'll see those areas that we reviewed and examined. And I'll just kind of go over a couple of those. So we did take a look at self-insurance for unemployment compensation. So we reviewed the internal controls to see if they're effective to fund future unemployment claims. And you'll see the next one below that, compliance with statutory requirements in terms of the interlocal agreement with Shoreline Fire Department for fire and emergency medical services and administrative oversight. So we did review the interlocal agreement for compliance with statutory requirements for those as well. And the last two areas we review for all of our audits as well. And then we also conducted a financial statement audit. So that spanned January 1, 2021 through December 31, 2022. So the objective of that financial statement audit is to issue an opinion as to whether the information included in the financial statements can be relied upon to make decisions. So we're pleased to report that we issued an unmodified clean audit opinion on the district's financial statements. And this provides assurance that the financial statements are stated fairly and are materially correct as well. And it's also important to note that the district selected to prepare its financial statements using the cash basis method of reporting, and that's authorized under the state of Washington through the Budgeting, Accounting, and Reporting Systems Manual. So a majority of our local governments across the whole state use this method due to its simplicity in its reporting requirements, and it's allowable to be used as well. But because national standards issued by the AICPA or the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants require that the auditor disclose in the report whether a local government chooses to report their financial statements under any reporting method other than US GAAP, which is a little bit more comprehensive reporting model. We're required to have a dual opinion or a dual adverse opinion, noting that the district has chosen not to report under US GAAP. And then also it's important to note that our audits are conducted in accordance with GAS or government auditing standards. So standards do require that we gain an understanding of the district's internal control processes that goes to prepare the financial statements for audit. And then if we did identify any weaknesses or concerns in those areas that did result in any significant errors in the financial statements, we would be required to bring that to your attention and include that information in our report as well. We're pleased to report that we didn't identify any concerns in the district's process that were required to be brought to your attention or included in our report today. And then last but not least, audit standards just require us to consider compliance with applicable laws, regulations, contracts, and also grant agreements as well, and whether there's any non-compliance that could affect the fair presentation of the financial statements. And you'll see that in your report. It indicates that we had no instances of non-compliance that were material to the financial statements of the district. And then those results are also detailed on page 14 through 20 of your packet as well. And then professional standards also require that we share with you whether there are material or large misstatements that were identified and subsequently corrected by management. So we're pleased to report that there were no material misstatements identified during the course of our audit. And then we're also required to note whether there are any uncorrected misstatements that remain uncorrected in the audited financial statements. So we have included in your packet the one item, but please note we've concluded that it's an item that's deemed immaterial or small in nature, and it does not affect the overall opinion being issued on the district's financial statements. And then also as part of the financial statement audit, we evaluate certain risks that we like to share with you as well. So audit standards require auditors to evaluate the possibility that management may be able to circumvent certain internal controls. So we're pleased to share with you that during our evaluation, it didn't show any instances or possibilities where controls were circumvented. And then we did follow up on the prior management letter item that we had last audit. The district didn't include that LEOF 1 liabilities on the Schedule 9 for long-term liabilities. So we did make sure to review that for 21 and 22. And we noted that it was properly included on the Schedule 9 of long-term liabilities and properly disclosed as well in Note 7 of your financial statements. So we can see that it was fully implemented and updated. And then audit costs will be in alignment with our original estimate that we had at the beginning of the audit. So the next scheduled audit will be conducted fall 2024. It'll be an accountability audit and a financial statement audit, and those will be for 2023 as well. And then also an estimate's also been provided for the next audit, and that's on page 2 of your agenda as well. And that's been provided for you for budgeting purposes. And then the audit reports are going to be published on our website. So we expect the report to be published in about a week or so from today. You can sign up, be notified by email when the audit reports are posted to our website. We've also provided you a link as well in your packet. And when that happens, you'll receive notification when the report's released, and there'll be some instructions as well on how to locate the report on our website. And then we'll also be sending a customer service survey. So we just ask that that get completed. All feedback's helpful to us in improving our services and also knowing how we can better meet your needs in the next audit as well. And then we also wanted to thank the district management and also officials for their assistance and cooperation during our audit as well. Specifically, we just wanted to extend our appreciation to Dawn for her cooperation and responses to our requests during the audit, especially since it was all done remotely through the computer. And then again, thanking the district for their friendly and professional interactions with us during the audit as well. And last but not least, thanking the district for its commitment to strengthen its relationship with the Office of the Washington State Auditor as well. And then this concludes our presentation today. So just wanted to thank everyone for your time today. And then at this point, just open it up for any last comments or any questions you may have.
Did you have any? Okay. I think we're good on the questions, but we sure appreciate your time in presenting to us, Mr. Adams. Thank you.
Yes, no problem at all. And we look forward to working with the district on the next scheduled audit as well.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Put that on the website, so if anybody wants to read the audit, it's available to the public. Something we do. Just ask them.
They publish it.
But you know,
I can try and figure that out.
And then just for the record, we do have Commissioner Pratt and Commissioner Admin back on our meeting, so we now do have quorum. So if we can backstep to the approval of the agenda.
make a motion that we accept the agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Thank you. Everyone in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes unanimously. We just finished the SAO audit exit conference. Our next item up for discussion is a report from the subcommittee of Station 54.
Do you want to go?
Well, go ahead.
Okay.
Chief.
As you know, we contracted with a demolition contractor to take down the station. There was a little bit of a miscommunication as to what permits were needed and capping off utilities, etc. So we had to pause. They've got the excavator on site right now, and they started the abatement of the structure. And then they had to pause, and they're in the process now of getting the permits. The company did not know it's a pretty rare thing to have to get a permit through the city.
Okay.
And so what I was told is that there's only one other city in the county that does this. And so they owned up to it. They were really great about it, actually, from what I heard from Chief Oakstein, that they owned up to, you know, it was an oversight of their doing, and they're working through the process right now of getting it figured out. We are going to have to board up the because they started doing the abatement. They started taking out some of the windows in the doors, so they're going to have to board that up as we wait for the permit to come in. We don't know how long it'll take to get the permit.
Okay.
So.
And Chief Holstein, did you have anything to add to that?
No, nothing else to add. Yeah, well, we're working on the permits and capping off the utilities, and hopefully that can all happen quickly, and we'll be back in motion. But again, it's not a disruption to they're just reshifting their personnel for a few days while we get this figured out, and we'll get us rescheduled. And again, we're not under a time crunch, so that's there's no kind of concern on our part there. Additionally, I did get an email from the city last night. There were some citizens who were emailing the city about what was going on at Station 54 when they saw the excavator show up. So we will be drafting a just to try and get ahead of the rumor mill a little bit, just drafting a statement to put on our social media here in a few days that yes, demolition will be happening, and the site will remain vacant and still owned by the fire district. And there will be future opportunities, the board will still be commenting or making a future decision on next steps for that property down the road, but there will be always opportunity for public comment about that. So hopefully we'll be back on track here shortly and take care of the building. And but I think we're in a good spot.
Perfect.
And just on another note, Chief Goldstein got hold of the school district and the contractor to make sure that you were allowed for the bus stops.
Got you.
So
Okay.
That was probably one of the bigger concerns as far as impacts.
There's also Metro stop there, so they've all.
Yeah, we're Commissioner Webster, I did make contact with the school district. They're aware of it. Also, I spoke with the contractor, and there will be no. They will keep away from that north gravel lot. There will be plenty of space for Metro and or school district or kids for bus stops. So that's on the contractor's radar as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Chief. Report from the subcommittee on outbuildings at Station 51.
That's on pause for now.
Okay.
We still need to engage with an architect and figure out what that scope and do all that, but with the other projects that are going on and so forth, it's on pause for now.
Perfect.
Do we want to keep that on or maybe just hold it off?
We could probably pull it off until at such time that we're gonna want to put it back on.
Okay.
Hold off the agenda.
Report from the RFA Planning Committee.
You guys can, so we had our second planning committee meeting, knocking out a lot of the pieces that we need to do, the big piece on governance. We came to an understanding of that. I did ask for our website, as we had discussed. I did ask for our website to have a button that goes to another page with just similar to like what we've done in the past with FAQs, and then as we progress with updated documents and all that. I was hoping it would be up already, but Jennifer was out, so I emailed her again today to see what that timeline looked like. So I'm hoping within the next day or two that it'll be up and all that, to include as we start to approve the parts of the RFA plan that can go up on the site as well.
Great.
And then also an opportunity for any of the residents or anybody that's concerned to be able to ask questions and so forth. And then the other piece to that too is to outreach to the cities and the communities, for interest in coming to the meetings and providing input. And at some point having, I think the plan would be to have a kind of an open house or open forum type session to answer any questions that people have.
Okay.
But so far it's going pretty well, I believe.
Okay.
We're just in the preliminary stages of just setting up. What questions do we need to ask?
Right.
And so it's just step by step, but not much to go to the public about yet.
Right.
But we will. We'll get on.
I have had some one-on-one conversations with some of our city electeds and so forth to let them know that this is ongoing. If they have any, if they have any questions or if they want to provide input, that to let me know.
Okay, great. Discussion for the next steps for the August levy lid lift ballot measure.
Hey, Commissioner Woolham, I have a question. Can I ask a question?
Of course.
Back on the RFA Planning Committee topic.
Okay.
So I read the notes and it just said that the governance model has been determined, but we haven't really been briefed on what it is. And so I'm curious what it is. And then I just have a comment for the members of the committee, or a question, I should say, which is there a mechanism for limiting the ultimate size of the board? And in particular, if additional entities are added, what is the mechanism for controlling the size of the board?
Commissioner
Sure.
Pratt?
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Wong. I just a question for Mr. Paxton probably. I wanted to address Commissioner Admin's questions, but want to know first what's appropriate to report out before we have full agreement on the planning team. And what can we report out? Things we have TA'd, or can we report out final decisions that we've made, or do we need to wait till we have the whole package together to report out?
I'm fine with you guys reporting out whatever you think is appropriate. There's no like legal restrictions. It's common to update the board on kind of this current status, recognizing that this ultimate plan will need to be approved by both boards. And so nothing's final until that point.
Thank you.
So I can briefly discuss what was decided upon, and I think it was there was a very strong sentiment for geographical representation on the RFA board. The RFA board can be 17 members if that's what we choose to have, but the plan at this time is to move forward with the two fire districts populating the RFA board with both board of fives coming together and being a board of 10. And then we reevaluate as we move forward, and or trying to, potentially through attrition, get that down to a lower level or a smaller level, but also depending on the interest of say Bothell or other entities that want to join, and reevaluating what those numbers look like. But I believe that there is a strong sentiment to continue having geographical representation from each of the areas. And we do have the opportunity to drop to boards of 3 in the future. But for now, we're going to go with a board of 10 and make sure that there's equal representation geographically, and that in the future that it's not, all 10 coming from Kenmore or Lake Forest Park, or all 10 coming from Shoreline, that there would be equal representation, or some kind of, maybe it's not equal in the future, but right now it's an equal representation from the different areas.
Commissioner Admin, did that answer your question?
Yeah, but I do have a follow-up question on that representation. So then, let's say down the road, hypothetically, that Bothell were to join in some down the road, would they elect 5 commissioners, and then would that sort of geographic representation hold? Or I guess is there I don't know how the governance model gets updated, or if it has to be like cast in stone once the RFA is created.
And Commissioner Pratt, were you going to answer that? I saw you raise your hand.
Yeah, I just wanted to address that real quick. That second half of Commissioner Admin's question. We did talk about that, had pretty robust conversation, and ultimately decided that we wanted to do the cleanest and simplest governance model to get the RFA off the ground, recognizing that the governance model would likely have to change going forward when other entities were brought on board, but that decision could be made once the RFA was off the ground and the governance model was initially established, recognizing that it's relatively easy to change.
Once the RFA is off the ground, the governance model by a majority vote can change what the representation looks like.
Okay. Perfect.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Now we're going to jump to the discussion of the next steps for the August levy lid lift ballot measure.
So the next steps would be to get educational materials out there, answer any questions and so forth. We need to remain neutral and just provide facts. And so we have the webpage up on our website. And then if people want to go out and solicit for support or sign making or whatever it is, then that'll be up to them to do. but for now, we've got it onto the ballot, so I have a little bit of a pause and then I would like to be able to address any of the questions that come up, in the ensuing weeks here.
Perfect.
We are still looking, it is an August 6th ballot measure, so.
Okay. Moving on, the discussion on updating.
Question,
Okay,
sorry. What was the outcome of the pro and con committees? Was there ever a con committee formed? And so those statements are just filed and with the county now?
I solicited, I tried to advertise and get both interest in pro and con committees. There was interest in a pro committee. They approached me and asked for information. I provided that information. They prepared a statement. There was no interest coming forward on the con committee. I contacted the county and let them know. They put out feelers. I don't know how they do it, but they solicit for volunteers, or they have people in different communities. I don't know how they do it. But they asked for anybody else to come forward for a con committee. Nobody came forward. So there was a pro statement and that'll be it. There won't be any rebuttals or anything because there isn't another statement to rebut. So,
okay, thank you.
Yeah. I sincerely apologize. I do need to leave.
Oh,
I have that
right.
other meeting.
no,
that I
you
gotta
go right
to.
ahead, Chief.
So I think we got through at least most of the stuff that pertains to me. So
Yep,
I apologize that I'm double booked.
no problem.
So
Thank you.
and yeah, so but I did email it. I don't know if Commissioner Admin and Pratt have had a chance to look at it though. So if there's any questions, let Amy know or just email me and
Sure.
I'll address them. So
Okay.
again, I
Thank you.
apologize.
Oh, no problem. Discussion on updating the financial policy 6200.
Let's see, we got one sent out to us with the proposed.
Yes, yeah.
Well, that's what's currently published, approved on the website.
Okay.
This item is from legal counsel Matt Paxton's update last month about changes to Washington state law around certain thresholds for
We need to have that jump in.
this. I'm hoping that Matt Paxton can give us an update if
Okay.
our policy is out of line.
Looks like
Got
it's out.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, so I mentioned last meeting that the new public bidding thresholds go into effect at the end of this month. I've been in contact with the fire chief on revising those policies to update the thresholds. I think one of the comments last month was, could we update this policy so that we don't have to keep updating it as the law, periodically increases the thresholds, so that it just matches the then current statutory thresholds. That hasn't been incorporated into the changes I've discussed with the chief quite yet. So we're not prepared to take an action on this item, but that is in discussions.
Perfect, thank you.
So we leave it on.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, discussion on board DEI listening session.
This item is from Commissioner Admin.
Yeah, I just put this on requested to have this on the agenda just because right now in Shoreline, there's a process for this diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging committee, or I should say a listening tour. There's a committee on that is conducting a listening tour right now in the fire department, just getting perspectives from different groups. And I noticed that one of the groups that had been, it's all the employees, but it also included the Shoreline commissioners. And I noticed that the North Shore commissioners had been not included. And so I thought that for this listening tour to be comprehensive, it would be worthwhile for them to include the North Shore commissioners as well. So I mentioned that to one of the committee members who's conducting these tours, and he said, sure, he'd love to do that. So I think that at some, maybe prior to a future board meeting, or somewhere in conjunction with a future board meeting, we could have that group. I think it would be probably prior to a board meeting, have that group meet with us. But I wanted to just put that out there for discussion and see what the board feeling is on if you'd like to provide input, or if not, then we can skip it.
How, when you said that that group would come, what are we talking, 30-minute presentation or what are we?
No, it's really more of, it's not really a presentation. It's more them asking for our input on this topic and issues related to this topic, and kind of how, so it's really more of it. It's a variable time frame. It could be anywhere from, as short as a half hour to, I attended a session that was with a larger group and it was a couple hours. So, I would estimate it like an hour probably would be, we could just allow an hour for the discussion.
Okay, Commissioner Pratt, did you have any input on that?
Yeah, I'd be in favor of inviting this committee to come and allowing us to provide our feedback.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I would like them to, love to invite them to a meeting.
So it sets up that an hour before our meeting. Would
Right,
that be considered a special meeting then? We'd have to put it, advertise it as a special meeting.
That's a good question. And I'll also find out, I'll get in touch with the committee and find out what they're doing with the shoreline commissioners. And maybe we could just kind of mirror what they're doing, because I don't know if they would rather just meet with us on a one-on-one basis to get our feedback that way, or if they want to do it as a group session. So I'll since there's interest here, I'll follow up with the committee and then we can circle back.
perfect. Thank you, Commissioner. Okay, I see no board resolutions, so moving on to the consent agenda.
Make a motion that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
I can second.
Thank you, commissioners. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to reports. The fire chief report did come out a bit late. So I'm not sure if Commissioner Admin and Commissioner Pratt are able to see that or have had time to look at it. So I am gonna suggest that if anybody has any questions, to direct the chief to contact the chief directly and get those questions answered. Are there any other commissioner reports? I feel like we've kind of hit them.
I can report that Commissioner Byers and I flipped a lot of pancakes this past weekend, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think that I just thank everybody that was involved with that, the coordination, all the volunteers, and it was a wonderful experience. I wish I could have been there more, but for the community, I think it was a great experience for everybody. And thank you.
And Commissioner Pratt and I were at a commissioner conference in Lake Chelan. And maybe we can report about that at the next meeting. I don't have anything prepared. Did you, Commissioner?
No, nothing prepared, just that it's a great opportunity to kind of get a pulse on what's going on around the state in other fire districts. It was a great opportunity to network with other commissioners from around the state, reconnect. I reconnected with Commissioner in Chelan, who is a former medic and MSO in Redmond. That was good. And then also just spending time with our counterparts in Shoreline and getting to know them better. And it was good.
Okay, so, legal counsel report.
I don't have anything to update the board on today.
Thank you. Amy, if you can go over the, upcoming board agenda.
Yes, and I had a question. The next meeting is Tuesday, July 2nd, and it's a holiday week, so I just wanted to confirm availability that
Oh,
works.
We used to postpone it a week, you know, or we're going into the holiday weekend.
okay, so we bump it out a week.
That's what we have in the past. That one for me, is anybody else?
Commissioner Pratt. Are you?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna be coming back from a trip out of country on July 2nd, so I won't be able to be there that day, but the 9th should work.
Okay,
We just have to post it, don't we? That-
Yeah, it will be a special meeting in lieu of having it on July 2nd.
and Commissioner Adman, is that something you would be able to make on the 9th?
Sorry, trying to get my Zoom controls. I'm on duty on the 9th. I could zoom in. I just might have to duck out. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
And I can make it on the 9th. Amy, do you mind reaching out to Commissioner Byers? To see if he is available for that.
So we should at least have a quorum for the 9th. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes,
Okay. So I will follow up with Commissioner Byers, but I will cancel the July 2nd meeting and create a special meeting on July 9th. The items that will be included in that meeting will be a report from the subcommittee on Station 54, a report from the RFA Planning Committee. Do we still want to leave a discussion on the August levy lid lift, an update?
I think we should
Just
keep it on
that
there.
on
Yeah,
through August, okay. There may be an update to the financial policy 6200, and there may be also an update on the having the board, the listening tour of the DEIB committee.
perfect. Okay,
Chris-
Commissioner, any other
Commissioner,
comments?
Commissioner Wilm, I saw that DC Hochstein had his hand up. I don't know if he still wants to comment or not.
Yeah, just mentioning, Bothell City Council has a meeting on July 9th at 6 o'clock as well. I don't know if Chief Cowan would have to be at that meeting, but just an FYI. There's the potential there that he might have to buzz over to the city council meeting, but maybe he could be here for your first half of the North Shore meeting if he's even needed in Bothell. I just wanted to make sure you were aware.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Chief. Okay, if there's nothing further, we're gonna go ahead and adjourn. Okay, meeting adjourned.